Okay, so again, I think somebody join our link. So before we may proceed, I'll just want again to introduce the the subject matter. Again, so we are in the mathematics of investment, and we're going to discuss about the simple interest. So simple interest is a quick and easy method of calculating the interest charged on a loan. And simple interest is determined by multiplying the daily interest rate by the principal by the number of days that elapse between payments. So this type of interest usually applies to automobile loans at short-term loans, although some mortgages use this calculation method. So again, to understand simple interest, interest is a cost of borrowing money. So typically expressed as a percentage, it amounts to fee of extra charge that the borrower pays the lender for the finance sum. So when you make a payment on a simple interest loan, the payment first goes toward that month's interest and the remainder goes toward the principal. And we need to take note, of course, that as what I mentioned earlier, that each month interest is paid in full, so it never accrues. In contrast, compound interest adds some of the most increase the monthly interest on old interest. Okay, so to understand how simple interest works, we consider automobile loan. Let's say, for example, that has 15,000 principal balance and an annual 5% simple interest rate. So if your payment is due on May 1 and you pay it precisely on the due date, the finance company calculates your interest on the 30 days in April. So your interest for 30 days is 61.64 under this scenario. However, if you will make payment on April 21, the finance company charges you interest for only 20 days in April. So dropping your interest payments to 41.09. So therefore, you may save 20 pesos savings. So okay, to give you more details about the topic, I will just show you a video wherein it discuss all about the simple interest. Again, and if you have some questions related to the topic, do not hesitate to post your question in our chat box.
Apat tayong course topics. Hinati natin sa apat yung subject natin. So for part 1, we are going to tackle about interest. Part 2, annuity. Part 3, depreciation. And part 4 about the bonds. So the first one is about the interest. So what is interest? Interest, it says here that interest is the money paid for the use of the borrowed money. So kung halimbawa hihiram ako ng pera, of course, may kaakibat na interest yon. Hindi lang sa paghiram, kundi sa pag-deposit ng pera. Borrowed money and deposited money, kailangan may interest yon. So there are two kinds of interest, the simple and compound interest. So ano yung kaibahan ng dalawa? The simple interest is the interest paid on the principal money lent only is called the simple interest. In comparison naman doon sa compound interest, when simple interest that is due is not paid, the amount is added to the interest-bearing principal. The interest calculated on this new principal is called the compound interest. So simple interest, very simple lang siya. May formula tayo mamaya. The interest paid is for the money lent lang talaga. When sa compound interest naman, kung hindi mo mababayaran yung borrowed money mo using the simple interest, papatong yon in due time. So that is called compound interest. So mas complex yung concept ng compound interest kesa sa simple interest, okay? So this is going to be our topics under the simple interest. So for 2 weeks, we are going to discuss about these topics, these 6 topics. So the first topic is the simple interest formula. The formula for the simple interest is I equal to P times R times T, where the I is the simple interest, the P is the principal amount kung magkano yung hiniram ko or dineposit ko, the R is the rate of interest kung ilang percentage yung interest, yung T is the length of time kung hanggang kailan ko siya babayaran. Okay. When interest is added to the principal at the end of the stipulated time, the total sum is called the future amount or F. So the future amount is equal to the P or the principal amount plus the interest. So combining the value of the interest plus the principal amount, yun yung all in all babayaran ko within the certain period of time. So combining the two formula, we have F equals P times PRT since I is equal to PRT. Then factoring, ilalabas natin yung P, i-enclose natin sa parenthesis yung matitira. F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. And finding for the value of P, that is equal to F divided by 1 plus RT. So for example, Venus deposited 5,000 in the bank at 6.5% simple interest for 2 years. How much will she earn after 2 years, assuming that no withdrawals were made? Okay, so yung given natin dyan, yung principal amount na dineposit ni Venus is 5,000 pesos. The R is the 6.5% or 0.065 kasi yung 6.5 divided by 100. That is 0.65 kasi yung 0.065, ito yung isa-substitute natin mamaya sa ating formula. So the T or the length of time is within 2 years. How much is the interest? Okay. So using the simple interest formula, I equals P times R times T. Substituting for all the values, P is 5,000, R is 0.065 times 2. That is equal to 650 pesos interest. Okay, so sa 5,000 na dineposit ni Venus sa bangko, 6.5% yung simple interest. Within 2 years, tutubo yun, mag-i-earn siya ng 650 pesos. So another example, Christian invested 30,000 in the stock market which guaranteed an interest of 6,500 after 3 years. At what rate would her investment earn? So yung rate naman yung hinahanap natin dito. Given, yung principal value natin is 30,000, yung ininvest niya, 30,000. Yung T or the length of time is 3 years. Then yung I is the interest, 6,500. So what is the value of R? So using the simple interest formula again, for R, we have to divide both sides by P and T para matanggal yung PT na kasama ng R. So the R is equal to I over PT. So substituting, pwede na tayo mag-substitute ng values. I is 6,500, P is 30,000, then 3. The R is 0.622 or 6.22%. Another example, Lina borrowed 10,000 from a bank charging 12% simple interest with a promise that she would pay the principal and interest at the end of the agreed term. If she paid 4,500 at the end of the specified term, how long did she use the money? So, how long did she use the money? Ibig sabihin, yung unknown natin dito is the length of time. So, given yung 10,000 as the principal amount, yung R is 12% or 0.12, then I is 4,500. Using the simple interest formula again, I equals PRT. Since P yung unknown, i-divide natin both sides by PR para makancel yung P at saka R. So, yung value ng T is equal to I over PR. Substitute, I is 10,000. I is 4,500. P is 10,000 and R is 0.12. So, the T is 3.75 years. Okay. For the next example, Rachel paid 7,400 interest at 14.5% for a 4-year loan. What was the original loan? Yung tinatanong dito yung original, meaning Yung principal amount, yung unknown. So given, R is 14.5%, T is 4 years, I is 7,400. Using the simple interest formula again, since P yung unknown natin or yung principal amount, we have to divide both sides of the equation by R and T. So yung equivalent value ng P is I over RT. P equals I over RT. Substituting for those values, I is 7,400, R is 0.145, then T is 4. That is equal to 12,758 and 62 centavos. So yung original loan ni Rachel, 12,758.62. Yung interest nun is 7,400. Okay? Then next example, Vincent borrowed 35,000 from a bank at 12.5 simple interest for 5 years. How much will she pay the bank after 5 years? So we are going to compute for the future amount or F. Kasi yun yung ang tinatanong dito is magkano niya babayaran yung bangko after 5 years. So given yung principal amount is 35,000, yung R is 12.5%, T is 5 years, kukunin ko muna yung I or yung interest amount para makuha ko yung F or yung future amount. Using the simple interest formula, I is equal to PRT in order to get the value of I, substituting the 35,000, the 0.125 and the 5 years, that interest is equal to 21,875 pesos. So using this I and the principal amount P, pwede ko silang i-add in order to get the value of the future amount or F. So P is 35,000, I is 21,875 yung nakuha natin. So F therefore is equal to 56,875 pesos. Next, if Rose borrowed 42,000 from a bank at 10.5 simple interest, how much will she pay at the end of 15 months? So given naman yung P tsaka yung R tsaka yung T natin, 15 months yung T, or in years, equivalent natin in years, yung 15 months is 1.25 years or 1 1/4 year. So unknown yung F. In order to find for the value of F, gagamitin natin yung formula na F equals P times 1 plus RT. Yung T natin dito is always in years ang unit, hindi months, hindi days, kundi years. So the value for F is equal to 42,000 times 1 plus 0.105 times 1.25. So the resulting value for 0.125 times 1.25 is 0.13125 using the PEMDAS rule. So F is equal to 42,000 times 1.13125. So F now is equal to 47,512 and 50 centavos. Next example, the total amount paid on a loan is 84,000 pesos. If the loan was for 2 years at 9% simple interest, what was the original loan? Okay? Yung mga given natin dyan, given yung F, okay, yung future amount, yung total amount paid sa loan, 84,000. Yung R natin is 9% or 0.09 in decimal. Yung T natin is 2 years. So, using yung formula natin kanina, since P yung unknown natin, we have to divide the equation both sides by 1 plus RT. So, we can get P is equal to F over 1 plus RT. Okay. Substituting for the value of F, R, and T, 84,000 times 1 plus 0.09 times 2 or 0.18, since 0.09 times 2 is 0.18. 1 plus 0.18 is 1.18. So the principal amount is 71,186 pesos and 44 centavos. So that is for the subtopic simple interest formula under the simple interest topic. So if you have any questions, just comment down. Okay, so thank you.
Okay, just only cover the simple interest. So this time, we may proceed to the, of course, the time between dates. Don't you worry, I sent it already, the link, no, to our Google Classroom. If you wanted to rewatch again, it is available in our Google Classroom actually. But this discussion actually is very basic. No, it's too easy to understand. And what if you could create the tools you need to work yourself? So this time we may proceed to the time, of course, time between dates.
Now we are going to discuss about the second subtopic under the simple interest topic, which is the time between dates. So under this topic, there are two specified times. The first one is the actual time. It is the exact count of time within a certain period, meaning, for example, sa year 2020, each month, kailangan kong bilangin yung eksaktong count ng number of days within, for example, January, 31 days, February 2020, that is 29 days since leap year yung February. Kung 2019 yung year natin, magiging 28 days lang siya. March 2020, 31 days, and so on. While sa approximate time natin, the assumption that a month consists of exactly 30 days. So 30 days lang talaga siya. So assuming all months within a certain year consist of only 30 days from January until December, 30 days lang siya kung approximate time yung gagamitin natin. Okay, so for example, we have to determine the number of days from September 16, 2007 to November 25, 2007. Use actual time and approximate time. So in comparison sa dalawa, itatali natin ngayon yung number of days from September to November. So starting September 16, since September has only 30 days, 30 days minus the date, which is 16. 30 minus 16 is 14. Yun yung actual time na matitira sa September. Since magsa-start tayo ng September 16 up to sa katapusan. So that is 14 days remaining. So for October, whole month talaga siya. November, that is 25 since until November 25 yung ating date. So all in all, that is composed of 70 days. While in the approximate time, sa September natin is also 14 days. Yung kaibahan lang is yung October, which is 30 days only, hindi na 31. Okay? So November, also 25 days. All in all, that is 69 days. So yung actual time natin from September 16, 2007 to November 25, 2007, actual time is 70 days. The approximate time is 69 days. So another example, determine the number of days from January 22, 2008 to May 8, 2008. Use actual and approximate time. So again, itatali natin yung number of days from January to May. Actual time, January is only composed of 9 days. Since 22 tayo magsa-start, January has 31 days. So 31 minus 22, that is 9. So February is 29 days since 2008 is leap year. Okay? March, 31 days. April 30 days, and May 8 kasi hanggang May 8 lang tayo. So all in all, that is composed of 107 days. Sa approximate time natin, yung January natin 8 days na lang. Bakit? Kasi yung approximate time nga natin is assuming that a month consists of only 30 days. So 30 minus 22, that is equal to 8. Okay? So February is 30, March is 30, April is 30, then May 8 kasi hanggang May 8 lang siya. So all in all, that is 106 days. Okay? So sa time between dates, we have to compute also for the two kinds of interest, exact interest and the ordinary interest. Yung kaibahan naman ng dalawa, yung exact interest, the length of time is equal to the time either actual or approximate over 365 days in a year. So for the length of time under the exact interest, yung T natin, which is kung isa-substitute natin mamaya sa formula, sa simple interest formula, the actual time divided by the 365 and the approximate time divided by 365. Yung ordinary interest naman, length of time is equal to the time either actual or approximate over 360 days in a year lang. Okay? Kung sa exact interest 365, sa ordinary interest is 360 days only. So yung T is equal to the actual time divided by 360, that is called the banker's rule. The another T is approximate time divided by 360 days only. Okay, so for example, we have to find the actual time exact interest, approximate time exact interest, actual time ordinary interest, and approximate time ordinary interest through this problem. On March 23, 2007, Mary Ann applied for a 48,000 loan at 9.5% simple interest. She promised to pay on July 12, 2007. Compute for the interest of the loan using those interests. Okay? Using those time. Okay? So the first step in order to compute for those interests is to find for the actual and the approximate time from March 23 to July 12, 2007. Okay? So for the month of March, March is composed of 31 days. So 31 minus 23, that is 8. April has 30, May 31, June 30, and July 12 kasi hanggang July 12 lang siya. So that is in total of 111 days. Sa approximate time, March has only 7 days since 30 days lang tayo sa approximate time. 30 minus 23 is 7. April to June has 30 days and July 12 days. So that is 109 days. So ito yung ino-note natin. Yung actual time natin is 111 days. Approximate time is 109 days. So in computation for the actual time exact interest, IE is equal to PRT. Yung principal natin is 48,000. R is 9.5%. Yung T natin magva-vary na ngayon dito sa actual and approximate time. And sa 365 or 360 days na in length of time, kung exact man siya or ordinary interest yung hinahanap. So for exact interest, P is 48,000 times 0.095 times 111 days divided by 365 days. That is equal to 1,386 pesos and 74 centavos. Next, approximate time exact interest. IE is equal to PRT, the same formula, but nagkaiba lang sila sa time. Sa actual time, exact interest yung ginamit na day natin dito is 111. Sa approximate time, 109. So that results to 1,361 pesos and 75 centavos. So for actual time, ordinary interest naman, 48,000 times 0.095 times 111 over 360 days na tayo, hindi na 365. So that results to 1,406 pesos. That is called the banker's rule. So lastly, approximate time ordinary interest, the same formula but 109 yung number of days natin na gagamitin over 360 for the T. So that results to 1,380 pesos and 67 centavos. So another example, ganun pa rin, yung P or yung principal amount natin is 230,000. Yung rate is 16% from April 12 to August 8, 2007. So again, yung first is to tally for the actual time and the approximate time. Okay? So April, since 30 days lang yung April, 30 minus 12 is 18. May has 31, June has 30, July has 31, and August has 8 days kasi until August 8 lang tayo. Approximate time, 18. The same lang kasi 30 days lang talaga yung April. But yung May to July months natin has only 30 days and August has 8 days. So that is 116 days all in all. Okay, so ino-note natin yung dalawang yan. So letter A, actual time and exact interest. Okay, back to 365 days. Para sa T natin, 118 over 365 kasi actual time is 118 over 365 for the exact interest. And exact interest is 11,896 pesos and 99 centavos. For the letter B, approximate time, exact interest. The same formula but 116 days yung gagamitin natin dito. That results to 11,695 pesos and 34 centavos. For letter C, actual time ordinary interest, the same, but 360 yung gagamitin nating denominator sa ating T. That results 12,062 pesos and 22 centavos, the banker's rule. And for the last, approximate time ordinary interest, the same formula but 116 yung gagamitin natin sa numerator over 360 the denominator. So that is equal to 11,857 pesos and 78 centavos. So that ends our subtopic for the simple interest, the time between dates. So for any question.
Okay, so we're done already with the time between dates. So again, in simple interest, we were going to discuss these 6 topics, no? And we may proceed to accumulating and discounting. So I hope that you will be able to understand the discussion since it's too basic and it could actually discuss step by step, no? And let's start for our third. So this time we may proceed to accumulating.
Subtopic under the simple interest topic, which is the accumulating and discounting. So it says here, the principal or present value P or the sum of money on the origin date is said to accumulate to the value of amount F at the end of T years or number of years. Likewise, the amount F is discounted to the present value P. So now what is the difference between the accumulating and the discounting part? So to accumulate is to find the amount F. So F, which is the future value, is also called amount. Okay? So to discount is to find the present value P. Okay? Number 1, for example, number 1, accumulate 75,000 at 8% simple interest for 15 years. Accumulate, meaning we have to find for the value of F. So yung given natin dito, P, 75,000, R is 8% or 0.08, T is 15 years. Using the formula for the future amount on the simple interest formula, F is equal to P times 1 plus RT, substituting for the value 75 times 1 plus 0.08 times 15. 0.08 times 15 is 1.12. 1 plus 1.12 is equal to 2.12. Then the resulting F or the amount is 165,000 pesos. Or another method, we have to find for the value of I in order to find the value of F. So I is equal to PRT, substitute yung tatlo, that results to 90,000 interest. Okay, so for the F, F equals P plus I. P is 75,000 and I is 90,000, so F is equal to 165,000. That is called the future value or the amount. Okay? For the number 2 example, compute for the amount if 24,000 is invested at 9.5% for 5 years. Okay? For the amount, meaning F na naman yung kailangan nating isolve. Okay, yan yung tatlong given natin. 24,000 for P, R is 0.095, T is 5 years. Substitute using the same formula, 24 times 1 plus 0.095 times 5. 0.095 times 5 results to 0.475. 1 plus 0.475 is 1.475. Then F is 35,400 pesos. That is the amount. Okay? For the third example, if money is worth 12% simple interest, what must be invested now to have 69,000 at the end of 4.5 years? Ang tanong, magkano yung i-invest ko ngayon in order to have 69,000 pagkatapos ng 4.5 years? So, yung hinahanap natin dito is yung present value or yung principal value ng investment. So, given R is 0.12, T is 4.5 years, then F is 69,000 pesos. So, using this formula, P is F over 1 plus RT, F is 69,000 over 1 plus 0.12 times 4.5, 0.12 times 4.5 plus 1 is equal to 1.54. That is equal to 44,805 pesos and 19 centavos. That is the present value. For the fourth example, what is the present value? So, sinabi na dito kung ano yung unknown. The present value of 45,000 pesos at 11.25% simple interest at the end of 240 days. Given yung R, T, and F natin, we have to find for the value of P using the same formula, F over 1 plus RT. So, since yung T natin dito is not in years, so 240 days, we have to divide it by 360 using the banker's rule for the value of T. Okay? So, F is 45,000, 1 plus R is 0.1125 times T, 240 days over 360 days banker's rule. So, that results to 45,000 over 1.075 and 41,860 pesos and 47 centavos is our present value. Okay? So that ends our third subtopic under the simple interest. For your questions, just
Okay, so we're done with accumulating and discounting. So we may proceed to discount, the simple discount formula.
Hello, sir. Pwede mag-raise ng question?
You just simply post your question in our chat box, then we will be able to address later.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Again, if you have some question, do not hesitate to push your question in our chat box. Then we will be able to address all your questions later right after our video presentation. Okay? Thank you.
Let's start for our third subtopic under the simple interest topic, which is the accumulating and discounting. So as mentioned earlier, the phrase to discount is to compute for the present value P of a given amount F. So going to proceed with the fourth subtopic under the simple interest, the simple discount formula. So as mentioned earlier, the phrase to discount is to compute for the present value P of a given amount F. So going to proceed with the fourth subtopic under the simple interest, the simple discount formula. So as mentioned earlier, the phrase to discount is to compute for the present value P of a given amount F. So going to proceed with the fourth subtopic under the simple interest, the simple discount formula. So as mentioned earlier, the phrase to discount is to compute for the present value P of a given amount F. So going to proceed with the fourth subtopic under the simple interest, the simple discount formula. So as mentioned earlier, the phrase to discount is to compute for the present value P of a given amount F. So going to proceed with the fourth subtopic under the simple interest, the simple discount formula. So as mentioned earlier, the phrase to discount is to compute for the present value P of a given amount F. So going to proceed with the fourth subtopic under the simple interest, the simple discount formula. So as mentioned earlier, the phrase to discount is to compute for the present value P of a given amount F. So going to proceed with the fourth subtopic under the simple interest, the simple discount formula. So as mentioned earlier, the phrase to discount is to compute for the present value P of a given amount F. So going to proceed with the fourth subtopic under the simple interest, the simple discount formula. So as mentioned earlier, the phrase equal sa equation na ito, sinabi sa equation na interest in advance. In borrowing money, interest is charged for the use of money. When deducted in advance, this interest is referred to as simple discount. So in cases na yung interest, babayaran ko in advance, ibig sabihin kung hihiram ako ng pera, pero ikakaltas na doon yung aking interest sa hiniram kong pera, hindi na buo yung matatanggap ko, yung interest nun is called the simple discount. Okay? For the simple discount formula, I is equal to FDT. Okay, so medyo may kaibahan na siya doon sa simple interest formula na diniscuss ko previously, which is I is equal to PRT. Sa simple interest, I is equal to PRT given dapat yung P or yung present value. Dito naman sa simple discount formula, dapat given yung F or the future value. So, computing for the other three variables, the D or the discount rate is equal to I over FT. T is the length of time, which is equal to I over FD. Then F for the maturity value is equal to I over dt. Iso-scrutinize lang natin yung mga formulas. I is equal to F minus P, or transposing P from right to left and I from left to right. Magiging P is equal to F minus I. Bali, pinalit lang yung P at I. And I is equal to F dt based sa ating simple discount formula. So, that is P is equal to F minus F dt based dito sa formula na P equals F minus I. Okay, so yung I natin dito is equal sa F dt. Sinubstitute lang natin dito. Pinalit natin sa I yung F dt. And so factoring for that, the P is equal to F times 1 minus dt, kasi finactor lang natin yung dalawang f sa dalawang term. So, pinalabas natin siya. And this is called the proceeds formula. Finding for P, or the present value, or what we sometimes call the proceeds. Finding for F is equal to P over 1 minus dt. Kasi, based sa ating formula dito, we have to divide both sides 1 by 1 minus dt. Then, dito din sa P, 1 over 1 minus dt. So, magiging F equals P over 1 minus dt, or what we call the maturity value formula for the F. So, in comparison, para hindi tayo malito, i-compare natin yung simple interest sa simple discount formula. So, for the simple interest, gaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, ginamit natin dito yung P or yung present value. Then yung R natin is the interest rate. While sa discount formula naman, yung ginamit natin dito is F or the maturity value or the future value. And our rate is the discount rate. Is called the discount rate or D. Magkaiba yung D sa R. Okay? Take note of that. So sa simple interest, the principal P is equal to F over 1 plus RT, while sa simple discount formula, yung equivalent nun as P, which is called the proceeds, is equal to F times 1 minus dt. The future amount F is equal to P times 1 plus RT, and for the simple discount, maturity value F is equal to P over 1 minus dt. So yun yung comparison ng dalawang cases. So for example, our first example states that discount 25,000 pesos for 3 years and 6 months at 10% simple discount. So given, when we say discount, we have to find for the value of P given the value of F. So from the formula, P is equal to F times 1 minus dt. Substitute lang natin yung values. F is 25,000. D, or the discount rate, is equal to 0.10 in decimal form. And 3 years and 6 months, which means 3.5 taon or 3.5 years sa ating formula. So 25 times 1 minus 0.10 times 3.5. And result for 3.5 times 0.10 is equal to 0.35. 1 minus 0.35 is equal to 0.65. And the result is 16,250 kung i-multiply ko yung 25,000 to 0.65. That is called the proceeds. Second example, if 12,300 is due at the end of 5 years at 8% simple discount, find the proceeds and the simple discount. Okay, so dalawa yung ano natin dito. F is given 12,300, discount rate is 8%, T is 5 years. Okay, so first we have to find the P. So using the same formula, F times 1 minus dt, substitute natin yung values. 12,300 times 1 minus 0.08 times 5. So 0.08 times 5 is equal to 0.4. 1 minus 0.4 is equal to 0.6. Then 12,300 times 0.6 is equal to 7,380 pesos for the proceeds. So nakuha na natin yung isa, we have to find the simple discount I. I is equal to F minus P. F is 12,300 minus nakuha natin kanina na P or the proceeds, 7,380. That results to 4,920 pesos. That is called the simple discount. So, sa simple interest yung tawag sa I. Sa simple discount naman, simple discount yung tawag sa I. For our example number 3, it says here that on April 2, Mr. Crisostomo received 65,000 pesos from a credit union and promised to pay 68,000 pesos on October 2 on the same year. If interest was deducted in advance, what was the discount rate? So, yung hinahanap natin dito is the D or the discount rate. Given yung F natin which is 68,000, P is 65,000, pero yung T natin or yung length of time is from April 2 to October 2 of the same year. So, bibilangin natin yan kung ilang months yung pagitan ng April 2 to October 2, which is 0.5 years or kalahating taon kasi 6 months lang siya. From April, we start counting 1 on May, June, July, August, September, and October. So, 6 months siya. So, solving for I is equal to F minus P. And F is 68,000 minus 65,000. So, I is equal to 3,000 pesos. And then, finding for D, that is equal to I over FT. 3,000 over 68,000 times 0.5. The D is equivalent to 8.82%. That is the discount rate. Next example, Mr. Rodriguez wishes to have 100,000 pesos payable in 5 years. What sum should be borrowed now if the discount rate is 18%? So, yung question dito, what sum should be borrowed now? So, magkano yung hihiramin ko para makapagbayad ako ng 100,000 na buo within 5 years? So, given yung F, 100,000, F yung 100,000. So, yung unknown ko is P. Kasi kung magkano yung hihiramin ko ngayon. Okay? And using the formula, P is equal to F times 1 minus dt. F is 100,000 times 1 minus 0.18, the D. Then T is 5 years. 0.18 times 5 is 0.9. 1 minus 0.9 is 0.01 and 0.01 times 100,000 is equal to 10,000 pesos. Okay, so 10,000 yung hihiramin ko ngayon within 5 years. 18% yung discount rate ko per year. Okay, so tutubo yun hanggang maging 100,000 pesos payable in 5 years. So that is all for the fourth subtopic under the simple interest topic, the simple discount formula. So if you have any questions, just comment down on our discussion.
Okay, so we're done already with the simple discount formula. So we may proceed to the equivalent rates. So it's just only 2 topics not to cover for today. And our next
topic would be about equivalent rates. So ito yung panglima na subtopic under the simple interest topic. So 2 rates are equivalent for the same present value P. They yield the same maturity value F at the end of the term. So for example, may dalawang rate ako, magkaiba yung value ng rate ko, pero equivalent siya in a sense that the same yung present value niya and the same din yung magiging maturity value niya F at the end of the specific term. So, i-compare natin yung dalawang formulas at simple interest rate R and simple discount rate D. So, for these equations, for the maturity value i-equate natin yung dalawa for F is equal to F. So, in scrutiny, sa formula ng dalawa, P is equal to 1 plus RT. This is for the simple interest. And equal siya sa P over 1 minus TT for the simple discount. And transforming the variables and solving for the values for R and D, we have R is equal to D over 1 minus dt. Kung isosolve natin yung previous equation natin, ito yung magiging result niya. And D is equal to R over 1 plus RT. So these two are called the equivalent rates. The relationship between the simple interest rate and the simple discount rate is called the equivalent rates. So for example, a bank discounts a 160,000 loan due in 3 years at 10% simple discount. Find the equivalent simple interest rate. Okay? So based sa given, F natin is 160,000, D or the simple discount rate is 10% or 0.10 in decimal, T is 3 years. Find the equivalent R or the simple interest rate. Using the formula, R is equal to D over 1 minus dt. Substitute lang natin yung D at saka T. So, bali, hindi natin magagamit yung F natin dito. So, D is 0.10 over 1 minus 0.10 times 3. And 0.10 times 3 is equal to 0.3. Ayan na. And 1 minus 0.3 is equal to 0.7. So, 0.10 over 0.7 is equal to 0.143 times 100. That is 14.3%. That is the simple interest rate. Next example, find the simple discount rate equivalent to 15% simple interest for 240 days. Again, days yung T natin dito, which means i-divide natin siya sa 360 days using the Banker's rule. Unless stated sa problem, Banker's rule lagi yung dapat nating gamitin for the value of T. So given T is 240 days, R is 15%. So we have to find the simple discount rate D. Using the formula, the second formula, D is equal to R over 1 plus RT. Substitute lang natin. 0.15 is R over 1 plus 0.15 times 240 over 360. Kasi yung goal dapat ng T, again, is dapat naka-years yung ating unit. Hindi days, hindi months, kundi years. So, using the Banker's rule, 240 days over the 360 days. So, 240 divided by 360 is 0.67. And 0.67 times 0.15 plus 1 is equal to 1.1. So 0.15 over 1.1 is equivalent to 0.136 or 13.6%. For our third example, how many months will it take for 300,000 pesos to grow to 350,000 pesos at 12% simple interest and 12% simple discount? Okay, so how many months? Ibig sabihin, T yung ating hinahanap dito. Given, P is 300,000 pesos, F is 350,000. With that, kung given na yung dalawang amount natin, T and F, makukuha na natin syempre yung I. Kasi ma-minus lang natin yung value ng F sa ating P. So, eto na yon. F minus P or 350,000 minus 300,000 pesos, that is equal to 50,000. Automatically, makukuha na natin yung I. R is 0.125 and D is also 0.125. So we have to find for the value of T. Using the simple interest formula for letter A, simple interest is I over PRT. To find the value of T, that is I over PR. So I is equal to 50,000 over 300,000 pesos times 0.125. And that is All in all, 1.33 years, pero yung tinatanong dito is how many months. So we have to convert the years to months. So 1 year is equivalent to 12 months. So 1.33 times 12, that is equal to 16 months. For letter B, T is equal to I over FD. Yung simple discount formula naman yung gagamitin natin dito in solving for T. So T is equal to I over FD. I is 50,000 over 350,000 times 0.125. So that is 1.14 years. Convert again natin sa months. So times 12 siya. 1.14 times 12 is equal to 13.7 months. Our last example, if 10,000 pesos accumulates 12,500 pesos for 9 months, find the simple interest rate and the simple discount rate. So, R and D naman yung ating unknown. So, given nga yung dalawang amounts natin, P and F, okay, makukuha na natin diretso yung I natin. So, 12,500, the F, minus the P, which is 10,000 pesos, that is equal to the I, which has the value of 2,500 pesos. So, balik tayo sa formula natin sa simple interest. For the simple interest rate, R is equal to I over PT. So, I is 2,500 divided by 10,000 times T, which is 9 months over 12. Kasi naka-months yung ating T, dapat in years siya. So, divided by 12 ang ating T, 9 over 12. 9 over 12 times 10,000, that is equal to 7,500. And 2,500 divided by 7,500 is 33.33%. That is our simple interest rate. For the discount rate, gamit naman natin yung simple discount formula. D is equal to I over FT. I is 2,500 over 12,500 times 9 over 12. And 12,500 times 9 divided by 12 is equal to 9,365. So dividing 2,500 times 9,375, that is equal to 26.67% for the discount rate. So that ends our fifth subtopic under the simple interest. For your questions, just comment down on our discussion section.
Okay, so we're going to course to share again the last topic for the simple interest, which cover of course the promissory notes.
Promissory notes under the simple interest. A promissory note is a written promise on the part of the borrower to pay another person his financial obligation. So in cases na kailangan i-document ng hiniraman ko yung aking borrowed money, okay, pirmado, okay, that is called the promissory note. Kung gustong i-document siya, including the amount, the date, the length of time, and of course the rate. Okay, it's either interest rate or the discount rate. It includes the agreed interest or discount rate and term. Kasali dapat yung interest and discount rate, pati yung length of time. And there are two types of promissory notes, the simple interest note and the bank discount note. So ano yung comparison ng dalawa? Sa simple interest note, it is a promissory note where the principal P is explicitly written. So dapat na-specify talaga or na-highlight talaga doon yung principal P. It is better referred to as the face value of the loan. The total amount to be repaid on the maturity date is the maturity value F. So yung principal P is referred sometimes as the face value, and the F for the future amount is also called the maturity value. Sa bank discount note naman, it is an often used promissory note where the maturity value F is explicitly written. So kung sa simple interest formula, principal kailangan naka-indicate doon. Okay? Sa bank discount note naman, ito yung dapat, yung F yung dapat naka-indicate talaga doon sa promissory note. It is the amount to be paid by the borrower. The interest is computed on this amount and deducted in advance. Okay? Based nga sa term na bank discount, okay, discount meaning yung interest doon is deducted in advance. The sum of money received by the maker is called the proceeds P. Okay? For the simple interest note, for example, may isang note ako dito, promissory note. Yung naka-indicate dito na amount is 100,000 pesos, meaning this is the principal value or the face value. Okay, may address, Manila, Philippines, and the date, June 29, 2008. 120 days after the above date, the undersigned promises to pay to the order of Rodolfo Dizon the sum of 100,000 pesos only, with interest at 16% per annum meaning per year, payable at Northeast Banking Corporation, Manila. Signed, Kevin Lacerna. So the maker of the note is the undersigned, okay, si Kevin Lacerna. The payee is Rodolfo Dizon. The face value is 100,000 as indicated. Simple interest rate is 16%. The term or the length of time is 120 days. The origin date of term is June 29, 2008 based sa heading ng ating promissory note. Okay? In finding for the maturity date after 120 days based sa origin date which is June 29, 2008, kung gusto kong malaman yung maturity date nun, okay, we are going to compute 120 days from the origin date. Okay? So from June, there is only 1 day left kasi June has 30 days, minus 29 is 1. July has 31 days, August has 31, September has 30 days, and October 27 days na lang kasi kung lalampas ako ng 27 days, lalampas na din ako sa 120 days na maturity term. Okay? So, yung maturity date ng aking promissory note is on October 27, 2008. Okay? So, finding for the interest to be paid, kung magkano yung interest na babayaran ko after 120 days, using the simple interest formula. So, I is equal to PRT. P is 100,000, R is 0.16, then T is 120 days over 360 days bankers rule. Kasi days yung unit ng ating time, we have to divide it by 360. So our interest is 5,333 pesos and 33 centavos. And finding for the maturity value F, kung magkano talaga yung babayaran ko lahat-lahat in total. So, i-add ko ngayon yung principal or yung face value plus yung interest value. So, 100,000 plus 5,333, that is 105,333 pesos and 33 centavos. Okay, for the bank discount note, may example tayo dito, 150,000 pesos. Ito yung indicated na maturity value F natin. And address, Manila, Philippines, March 23, 2008 yung date. 150 days after the above date, for the value received with interest at 9% per annum, discounted to maturity, the undersigned promises to pay to the order of Manila Finance the sum of 150,000 pesos only, payable at Manila Finance. Signed, Remedios Mutok. So the maker of the note is Remedios Mutok. The payee is Manila Finance. Maturity value 150,000, simple discount rate 9%. The term is 150 days and the origin date of the term is March 23, 2008. So finding for the maturity date after 150 days based sa ating origin date, which is March 23, 2008. So March has 31 days. So 31 minus 23, yung remaining days na lang for March is 8. April 30, May 31, and so on for July. August has only 20 days na lang para makumpleto yung 150 days. So the maturity date of the term is on August 20, 2008. So finding for the interest to be deducted in advance, interest pa rin yung tawag pero deducted na siya in advance sa aking hihiramin na pera. So using the simple discount formula, I is equal to F times D times T. 150,000 times 0.09 times 150 over 360 bankers rule. And that is equal to 5,625 pesos for the interest which is being deducted in advance. So next is to find for the proceeds, kung ilan yung magiging pera na matatanggap ko upon requisition sa pera ko. Kung yung interest ay na-deduct na doon sa aking hihiramin na pera. So F is equal to 150,000 minus I, which is 5,625. So yung proceeds ko, yung matitirang pera sa akin is 144,375 pesos. So another word problem, the maturity value of a 6-month simple interest note was 33,000. If the interest rate was 18% per year, what is the face value of the note? Face value is P. So given yung maturity value natin, which is F, that is 33,000. So within 6 months and 18% interest rate. So using the simple interest formula in finding for P in terms of F, okay? P is equal to F over 1 plus RT. Substitute lang natin. 33,000 over 1 plus 0.18 times 6 over 12. Then, yung denominator natin is magiging 1.09. 33 divided by 1.09 is 30,275 pesos and 23 centavos face value. The second one, a simple interest note for 80,000 pesos at 16% per annum was signed for 102 days. Find the maturity value. So, stated, simple interest note for 80,000 pesos. Meaning, yung 80,000 pesos natin dito is our face value since galing siya sa simple interest note. So, we have to find for F or the maturity value. Using pa rin, based sa ating simple interest topic, simple interest formula topic, F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. Substitute, 102 over 360 times 0.16 is equal to 0.045 plus 1 is equal to 1.045 times 80,000, that is equal to 83,626 pesos and 67 centavos for our F. Our third example, Risa signed a 62,000 pesos bank discount note at 10%. If the proceeds was 60,000 pesos, what was the term of the note? So, bank discount note na tayo dito. So, given yung maturity value 62,000 and the proceeds, P is equal to 60,000, makukuha na natin yung I. Ima-minus lang natin yung dalawa, which results to 2,000 pesos. So, using the simple discount formula for T, T is equal to I over FD. I is 2,000 over 62,000 times 0.10. Yung result sa baba is 6,200. So, 2,000 divided by 6,200 is equal to 0.323 years or 3.87 months. That is the term of the bank discount note. So our last example, a bank discount note, again, for 80,000 pesos at 8% has a term of 9 months. Find the interest charge in advance and the proceeds. So, given again yung 80,000 pesos which is our maturity value since gumamit tayo ng bank discount note. Okay, so computing for the I or the interest charge in advance. Okay, I muna yung i-compute natin una using the simple discount formula, FDT. F is 80,000 times 0.08 times 9 over 12. That results to 4,800 pesos. This is the interest which is being charged in advance sa aking 80,000 na maturity value. And finding for the proceeds, 80,000 minus 4,800, our interest. The proceeds is equal to 75,200 pesos. So that ends our simple interest topic. So for your question,
Okay. So a while ago, no, sa one of your classmates, no, posted questions about the banker rules, no. So why we use the banker rules on the given sample? Because we computed simple interest, no, and banker's rule is a popular method in the US that combines conventional interest and precise timing. At the same time, based on the given question, she wanted also to clarify the use of 365 and 360 days to use, right? Tama po ba, Madam Ma'am de Guzman? Okay.
Yes
So,
po, sir.
okay, during a typical 365-day calendar or calendar year or 366 day, yung leap year, banks have tried to find a solution to the difficult problem of calculating equal daily and monthly interest cost. Okay, so the 365 or 365 approach or the precise day, ang tawag kasi sa 365 is precise day interest. And the 360 method, yun ang tinatawag nating ordinary interest. And the 365 is last 360 method, yun ang tinatanong ni Madam, for compound interest yun, ma'am. We are just discussing the simple interest. Now, the 365 method, di ba, yung sinabi ko kanina, 365, 360, and we have 365, 360 method. This will be the three common method for calculating interest cost related for bank interest. No? To standardize daily interest rates based on 30-day month, banks most typically utilize the 365, 360 calculation technique for commercial loan, ma'am. So, to calculate the interest payment, banks multiply the quoted interest rate by 365, then divide by 360. In a non-leap year, however, the 365, 360 technique has been used to boost the effective interest rate by 0.01389 due to the numerator and denominator not matching. Kaya ganon. Again, I just want to reiterate to everybody, for commercial loans, banks most typically utilize the 365, 360 calculation approach to normalize daily interest rates based on the 30-day month. Okay? The 365, 360 approach require banks to multiply the quoted interest rate by 365 and then divide by 360 to compute the interest payment. Okay? So that's it.